NBC6 anchor SHELI MUNIZ is live in San Juan near the governor's mansion where the deep unrest continues to bubble.
Police have just deployed the tear gas here. Thank you. People are now running because they have been threatening. It's very hard to talk here because this tear gas is really strong. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the story.
It was a day that made history on the island. One man uniting hundreds of thousands with their flags, colors, signs, bringing people from all over the island, celebrities, politicians, families in droves, and even on stilts, calling for the governor to step down amid an offensive chat and corruption allegations.
I don't do this, I'm failing to my country, to my friends, to my family, so here I am.
Sunday, Governor Ricardo Rosselló announced on Facebook he's staying put, just not seeking re-election. And in a new interview with Fox News,
there are folks that have supported me.
Who specifically is supporting you today?
The rule of law. There are people.
Gobernador se queda como gobernador y yo estoy de acuerdo. Yo estoy más clara que el agua del manantial.
But the scenes on the highways of Puerto Rico and consecutive days of protesting paint a different picture.
All the places around the world, here in Puerto Rico, we want Ricky Rosselló. Hey, Ricky, you have to understand, the people in Puerto Rico don't want you no more.
Tito Kayak, a well-known activist, is willing to even go to jail for the cause. He's been arrested this week for trespassing the barricades.
If he doesn't react to today, people is going to take him down in another way.
All right, now back out here live. We have scooted a little bit further down El Viejo San Juan, Calle Fortaleza, but police did deploy that tear gas, and I tell you, we weren't even that close to the governor's mansion, and it hits you in the face. I actually want to show you some of these officers who are going down. If we can actually pan here, police making their way down Calle Fortaleza, trying to disperse the crowds who, after a day of marching, have come again to let their voices be heard. We're going to let them pass here. It has been a very restless night after a day of marching. July 22nd, 2019, a day that people and Puerto Ricans will never forget. Back to you guys.
SHELI MUNIZ was there in the middle of it all last night. She joins us live here from San Juan. We're glad you're safe. We were very concerned last night.
Yeah, we are okay, but I tell you that tear gas is incredibly powerful, which is why police forces used it last night to disperse the crowds here. However, the city is not okay. Protests are continuing yet again, and parts of El Viejo San Juan resemble a war zone.
Smoke filled the air last night just after 11 p.m. in Old San Juan as police in riot gear deployed tear gas, pushing out the crowd of protesters. In fact, we had just gone live on NBC6.
And it hits you in the face.
While our crews then took cover inside of a hotel lobby, you could hear chaos just outside of the walls for hours. One protester said police hit him with a rock. A rental car appeared to be hit too. The historic and tourist district appeared to look like a battleground. Today, in a series of tweets, Governor Ricardo Rosselló acknowledged the protests and said he was listening but would no longer comment beyond government matters. This comes as he and government officials involved in that controversial chat that set this all off on July 13th were ordered to turn over their cell phones. In the meantime, people continue their call and others their cleanup.
We're painting every day. We've been different organizations, different people, residents, business owners.
And coming up at 6 o'clock, you'll hear more from that volunteer and why he says he's actually gotten some backlash for cleaning up. Meanwhile, more government officials have resigned or pulled their support, something that we're seeing more and more of every day, as well as this right behind us. Hi, the governor is refusing to step down, and these people are refusing to stop protesting. There are two gatherings here happening in El Viejo San Juan. I want to give you this one right behind you here. But look at this. This is actually a camera that is less than, I want to say, half a mile away from here, and that is more than 3,000 people who are marching themselves, marching their way over to this exact spot here at Calle Fortaleza. Thank you, sir. Thank you for letting me borrow that. Okay, let's walk here. It's the same rhetoric that we've been hearing. They want the governor to resign amid those controversial comments. They've been out here for several days now, and so has Fabiana. Fabiana, talk to us. She's a college student here. Fabiana, you've been here for 3 days. What are you seeing that is different about this particular protest today?
Now, today we're waiting for some people that are coming. Thousands of people are walking here, and today we have a lot of music, and we just want our voices to be heard and to be respected because they have not been respecting us.
Do you think the violence is overshadowing the message here?
Maybe it is, but I think it is from the police because, you know, we have been here very calm, very singing and everything. We just want our voices to be heard, like I said, and they have been throwing a lot of gases through us, and it's really hard. Like, our eyes hurt, we cannot breathe, and it's really hard because they're doing it just because they want us out of here, and we're doing. It's our right to protest for what we want. It's not respecting us.
Do you think it's going to make a difference?
I wish it will. We are here because we think it's going to make a difference.
Thank you, Fabiana. Thank you so much. I actually want to mention something about the tear gas. We do have gas masks. We are prepared here, but they were sold out. We tried to go to a store. We actually had to go about 30 miles or 30 minutes or so out of town. This business here that is on the corner, tear gas seeped through the doors. And when we talked to them earlier before they shut their doors, they actually were cleaning up and they had to take everything out because of the fumes that were in there. So that business has completely shut its doors because of these protests. I'm going to go back on Facebook Live if I can here as these marchers are making their way over to La Fortaleza, and we'll bring it to you on social media so you can follow me there. Keith, Jackie, back to you. They are back at it again. It started raining here, and I tell you what, I think the rain, it didn't deter them. It almost fueled them. They are louder, making their voices heard even stronger. It's as if they slept full rest last night, and they are just ready today because this is the loudest I've seen the crowd here today. Business owners around here say they're on the same side. They want something to happen here, but in the meantime, it's hurting their business physically. Watch this.
Just steps from this is the handcraft store, a souvenir shop on Calle Fortaleza, in the historic and tourist district of El Viejo San Juan.
So it's actually encased in cardboard and panels on the other side?
This is Paul Kelly's store now, boarded up to cover broken glass. Inside of that glass, an art display, including this piece.
It also melted the...
Oh, so this is actually the painting that was out there, and
Yes.
this is the blistered
Right.
look now because of it.
Violence that has led to arrests and injuries to officers this week as thousands have protested. It's art that also speaks volumes. This is what La Fortaleza, where the governor's mansion, looked like up until just days ago. Before the umbrellas came down, barricades up. The damage to the handcraft store happened on Monday, soon after the governor's leaked conversations. Demonstrators want to see change. Business owners say they need it after the inappropriate and vulgar remarks toward politicians, the media, and the people of Puerto Rico. What does change look like to you?
Change, hopefully what's going to come out of this is that the next, whoever comes to replace is going to be so alerted and cautioned about the people taking a stand that they're not going to allow this anymore.
Well, and the governor is not moving. He says he is staying put, apologized, and in the meantime, you see here, these guys making fun, essentially. They're saying for sale pigs, talking about the officers here who are staying on guard here. We're going to continue to watch these. I'm going to go on Facebook Live in just a few minutes here so you can see an extended version of the protest because we are expecting to see a march here that's starting about a half mile away. So go on Facebook Live here in just a few minutes here so I can give you a more extended look at the protest that we're seeing here. And I'll be back here at 6 o'clock for you for another report. Keith, back to you. We're here in Viejo San Juan, and I can tell you there were at least 200 plus people here that were protesting into the night. A much different picture than what we saw the day before on Wednesday when we saw tear gas, Molotov cocktails. The crowds will tell you, yes, every single day it's so different, but they want their message to come across, that they want the governor to resign. They say that they're not going anywhere. Talking to some of these people here, these signs, they are passionate. We have a number of women who were up front, right in front of the barricades, who just had duct tape on their lips. Hi, we had, thank you. They had duct tape on their mouths and it said resign. And they were sitting there and they've been doing that for days. I want to show you where the barricades are, how far these protesters can get. If you can walk with me here, you can see the signs. calling him a dictator. That sign, there's more of us and we're not afraid. Follow me here. Puerto Rico, we're gonna rescue you. Okay, so we're taking you here through. The women were sitting here, they've since moved, but you have these people standing, and look at these. These are the blockade. This is what's blocking them. You can see the barricades, and if you can peek right through here, permiso, señor, permiso. There's the officers right there, and just behind them is the governor's mansion. So, 200 plus people, stretches this way, that way, right across here in this corner in Viejo San Juan. I'm talking to these people again. They say they're not going to give up. Apparently on Monday, they say they're planning to shut down highways here in San Juan. They say, you know, some of these days we're going to be resting, doing it by turns, by shifts. But on Monday, we're going to hit the ground running here. And hopefully, they say, to get the governor to listen to them. So we shall wait and see. I'm SHELI MUNIZ in Viejo San Juan, Puerto Rico. Back to you guys. Yeah, Lena, the governor has been tweeting business as usual, but the protesters are staying firm in their fight. Meanwhile, there is a group who is making sure that everyone knows the contents of that controversial chat. In front of the Capitol is a group reading word by word the 889 pages of Governor Ricardo Rossello's conversations with his colleagues.
The whole point of this is to kind of like flip it on their side and say, hey, we're going to laugh at you guys now. It's your turn to be the subject of mockery.
Ed Silva helped organize the reading. The group started in the morning and we're only halfway through by the afternoon. The chats that have been shared socially for a week now, at times reading like locker room talk.
They are talking pretty cynically about very serious subjects that affect the lives of many, many Puerto Ricans.
And now an impeachment research committee that includes attorneys has formed to take a look at those conversations and see if a crime was committed. Meanwhile,
it has been a week of demonstrations out here in front of La Fortaleza, the governor's mansion. You can see protests are not losing steam. In fact, they've come out here in droves with pots and pans. What are you seeing out here that you haven't seen all week?
Today, I keep seeing different people. They always say when we protest, it's always the same people, but we're seeing people from all walks of life.
Plus support from cities like New York City and Miami. And that seems to only fuel the people of the island.
And while much of the island seems to be paralyzed by this controversy, Alina, just a few steps away, life goes on. There was a wedding at a church, and it made for quite an interesting start to this now married couple's life. Back to you, Alina. Well, the cleanup process is now underway after thousands of people took over the streets here in San Juan, Puerto Rico. The governor did an interview with Fox News this afternoon and said he does have people who support him. But what we saw out here today tells a different story.
This small island is big as it has a big heart.
And a big voice.
Too big. You could see.
The People's March brought the largest political movement in the island's history. Thousands filling the 10 lanes of highway in San Juan and beyond.
I'm an English teacher and I'm here representing all the teachers from Puerto Rico and my students.
Teachers, families, celebrities, and among the crowd, San Juan Mayor Carmen Yulín Cruz, who was mentioned 56 times in the months-long conversations between Governor Ricardo Rossello and his colleagues.
And the worst thing is the Chief Financial Officer of Puerto Rico says, I am salivating, I cannot wait to shoot her.
Shoot you?
Yeah, and the Governor of Puerto Rico replies, you would be doing me a favor. I filed a complaint. I had to wait 24 hours because I was very upset.
Cruz is running for governor herself. She admits no politician is perfect after being criticized herself, but she says it's about showing dignity when the governor announced on Facebook he would finish out his term amid the scandal.
When he announced that he was not going to seek re-election, obviously you want to be governor. What does this mean for you?
It's beyond me. It's beyond me. People have awakened to a different way of doing politics.
Politics that have seemingly unified an entire island torn by turmoil.
And Carmen Yulín Cruz tells me she filed a death threat complaint and the FBI is apparently investigating. Meanwhile, government officials are doing their own investigating to find out if there are grounds for impeachment here. In San Juan, Puerto Rico, SHELI MUNIZ, NBC6 News.
NBC6 anchor SHELI MUNIZ has been covering these demonstrations for days now, and she joins us now live from San Juan, Puerto Rico, with what she is seeing and hearing today. SHELI.
Yeah, just moments ago on Facebook Live, the governor announced to his island here that he will not seek re-election in 2020, but stopped short of saying that he would resign. Instead, he said he is stepping down from his party as president of his party that, of course, advocates for statehood. He again acknowledged that he made a mistake and says that he's still dedicated to working here for the island. Meanwhile, here, just across the gates, just down the street from the mansion, people are still there, making their voices heard loud and clear. This is a look at another day of frustrated and determined Puerto Ricans calling out the governor amid the island's political crisis. Chants you can hear just down Calle Fortaleza and within the gates of the governor's mansion, where today several government officials responded pulling up for an apparent meeting. Maria Nieves flew in from Miami to join the crowds.
I cannot stay home just watching this on TV. I said to myself, I need to take a plane, I need to be there, and I need to fight with them because their suffering is my suffering.
She moved to South Miami from Puerto Rico 3 years ago, now back with a one-way ticket to let her voice be heard. The protesters have been at it for 9 days immediately after Governor Ricardo Rossello's leaked chat plunged the island into turmoil again. Puerto Ricans have gotten creative. Sunday, a group demonstrated in Downward Dog, practicing yoga in San Juan. All this ahead of what's to be an historic movement on the island on Monday. Thousands are planning a national strike that's expected to shut down highways and has already forced the largest mall on the island to announce it'll close. Celebrities like Ricky Martin posting about the efforts, complete with instructions on how to prepare for the day. As for Maria, who made the trek from South Florida,
I will stay here until he resigns. I'm going to be strong, and I need to do this for my people, for my country, for my family, for my friends, and for the new generation.
And just moments ago here, the San Juan mayor, Carmen Yulín Cruz, who was actually made fun of in those chats, she said the governor doesn't understand that he's not going to be able to regain the trust of his people. So is it going to be enough? That's the big question out here, Alina.
Yeah, SHELI, and I wanted to talk a little bit more about that because you've been out there with these protesters now for several days covering these demonstrations. Do you get a sense of what their reaction is to the governor's announcement that happened just a few minutes ago?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be satisfied by this. We're going to go and talk to these protesters when we finish up this live shot here. But they are still planning to have this nationwide march here tomorrow, and we'll keep you posted later tonight at 11 when we are able to talk to these protesters about is this enough for them.
NBC6 anchor SHELI MUNIZ has more from the island.
After the governor's announcement that he would stay in office but not seek re-election next year, we talked to protesters and they said this is not enough. They don't want him here today, tomorrow, forever.
Le anuncio que no iré a la reelección como gobernador en el próximo año.
That was terrible. That was very
We are not satisfied with the announcement. We want him to resign.
It doesn't matter whatever he said. Nobody's going to forgive this.
Governor Ricardo Rossello's address to the island only seemed to fuel the fire when he resigned as president of the pro-statehood New Progressive Party, but vowed to finish his term.
Most people think it's because of just the chat, but it's been a couple of things that have been piling up over the years that are not really like the best.
My grandfather is dead, and I blame that on him.
Adnera says her grandfather died after Hurricane Maria as a result of aid being withheld.
Puerto Ricans are people that fight, and we're going to keep fighting.
And they've done it since the controversial chats were leaked. All this ahead of what's to be an historic movement on the island on Monday that's set to shut down highways and even the largest mall. Celebrities like Ricky Martin posting about the strike.
If this still like this, something very bad could happen with this country because people are really mad.
And as protests continue well into the night, tomorrow morning, we're going to be there covering that national movement. Ricky Martin telling people who are going to be protesting, say, have a heavy breakfast, bring some snacks, bring water. We hit the ground running 9 a.m. And of course, we'll have that for you right here on NBC6. In San Juan, Puerto Rico, SHELI MUNIZ, NBC6 News.
Let's head out live now to NBC6 anchor SHELI MUNIZ, live in San Juan tonight, where people have once again gathered outside of the governor's mansion. And SHELI, any movement from the mansion?
Well, I can tell you, we were expecting a news conference to start at 5 o'clock. Local media reporting that at 5 o'clock, Governor Ricardo Rosselló was going to announce his resignation here after 12 days of protests that started with that July 13th leaked chat. But it is after 5 and no word yet. But we can tell you that NBC News is inside of La Fortaleza right now as we're out here with protesters. And NBC News is telling me right now that they are on standby. The governor's press staff is there and heavy security is there as they are waiting for that news conference to start. We don't know who is going to talk. Perhaps the governor himself. Now, this all comes after the House Speaker here in Puerto Rico threatened an impeachment process after they found 5 offenses that could mean grounds for impeachment in those leaked chats. Remember, it was 889 pages of offensive, crude comments, not only towards the media, celebrities, but also the people of Puerto Rico, including those who were killed in Hurricane Maria. Now, what you're listening to here, I believe, is the House Speaker, but it's so hard to listen because of the crowd. But that House Speaker telling them, again, that we told Ricardo Rosselló today that if he does not resign by today, we will go on with our impeachment process. Now, back out here live, I tell you what, it is like New Year's Eve here, and the ball's about to drop because the energy is absolutely incredible. More and more people just keep coming by, gathering right in front of the governor's mansion. They want to be here right at this precise moment when that announcement is made. Now, again, that news conference was set to start at 5 o'clock, potentially announcing the resignation of Ricardo Rosselló, but we are still waiting for that. So we're going to stand by, and as soon as we hear that announcement, we'll go right back live to you right here on NBC6. For now, in San Juan, Puerto Rico, SHELI MUNIZ, NBC6 News.
NBC6 anchor SHELI MUNIZ is live in San Juan with the very latest from there. A lot of activity still out there tonight, SHELI.
And we're about 2 blocks away from La Fortaleza to keep our distance here safely because people are very frustrated. They have been on pins and needle. In fact, the entire island has been on pins and needle all day, waiting for this message from the governor, Ricardo Rosselló, about a possible resignation. It was supposed to happen today at noon, and then at 5 o'clock, and now 11 o'clock and nothing. And the crowd keeps growing. People are just frustrated. The speculation has been swirling. And now there's even word that perhaps he had a change of heart and he is not going to resign. So now the concern is with the amount of people who are out here, when that news comes out, if indeed he is not going to resign, people are going to be outraged. There is going to be violence out here, unfortunately. I want to show you some video here when we were much closer to the crowd. Again, we are keeping our distance here. The crowd, for the most part, had been upbeat, but growing more and more impatient. At first, a previously taped message from the governor was set to be made early this morning, and then it was 5 o'clock, and still nothing. The tension now building. Tonight, several celebrities, Puerto Rican rapper Residente, for instance, he pleaded with police. He came out here and he was asking police, urging them to be careful if they do use tear gas tonight, as there are so many children we've seen out here in the crowds. We also spoke to singer Nicky Jam earlier today, and he talked about this landmark moment and what the future of this island holds here.
Well, we got to keep working so we get somebody in office that, is going to take care of the country, take care of the island, and, focus on education. We need these kids to get good education so they don't take the wrong route,
Describe the past 12 days for us.
Well, I was on tour. I just got here right now. I've been seeing everything by Instagram and everything. It's been crazy, but it's beautiful to see how the whole country is together.
And he is trying to head up a march, actually another national march like the one that we saw on Monday, tomorrow morning, depending on what happens here tonight. So it is just after 11 o'clock. We have been waiting for an announcement from the governor, as promised, that he already apparently filmed all day. So have thousands of people here on this entire street. Again, we're about 2 blocks away from the governor's mansion to keep our safe distance because it is a mob. People are going to go mad if the announcement is indeed that he is not going to resign. In fact, earlier tonight, we heard that the House Speaker has called a special meeting for tomorrow to begin the impeachment process. What does that tell us? Is that a sign of things to come? We shall see. And of course, we'll keep you posted online, on air, and right here on NBC6. In the meantime, this is it. People just waiting anxiously and impatiently. In San Juan, Puerto Rico, SHELI MUNIZ, NBC6 News.